Hello, class 10th. Have very happy new year to all of you and welcome back to online classes after winter holidays. Children, in this video, I am explaining practical chemistry, that is your identification of gases and what do you observe when some chemical substances are heated. Let's start first, identification of gases. In practical chemistry, first is your identification of gases, and there are different gases in your syllabus. Out of these one, 3 are neutral gases, that is your water vapor, hydrogen and oxygen, right? Then one is your basic gas, that is your ammonia, and rest are acidic gases. Now first, neutral gases, that is your water vapor, hydrogen and oxygen. They all are, why they are called neutral gases? Because they are neutral to litmus, means neither they are acidic nor they are basic. So first is your water vapor. The color of water vapor is colorless, odorless and neutral to litmus. Water vapor turns white anhydrous copper sulfate blue, and second test is your for water vapor, that is your water vapor turns blue cobalt chloride paper pink, right? So learn these two properties of water vapor. Next is your hydrogen. Hydrogen gas is colorless, odorless and neutral to litmus. And what is the main test for the hydrogen? First, when you bring a burning wooden splinter near the hydrogen gas, it extinguishes in hydrogen. Okay. Second, hydrogen gas always burns with pale blue flame and produce a pop sound. Third is your oxygen gas. It is colorless, odorless and neutral to litmus. And test for oxygen gas is your, it always rekindles a glowing wooden splinter, means when you bring a wooden splinter near the oxygen gas, it burns with flame. And third and second is your, it absorbed in colorless alkaline pyrogalol solution and then turn it brown, right? Means oxygen gas turn alkaline pyrogalol solution into brown, which is actually colorless solution, but it turns brown when comes in contact with oxygen, right? Now next is your carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide gas, all of you know that whenever metallic carbonates they are heated, then carbon dioxide gas is evolved. Second, whenever dilute acids, either it is dilute hydrochloric acid or dilute sulfuric acid or very dilute nitric acid, when react with metallic carbonates or bicarbonates, they always evolve which gas? Carbon dioxide. And carbon dioxide is colorless, odorless and it turn moist blue litmus to red, because it is acidic in nature. Carbon dioxide is acidic in nature, so it turns blue litmus to red. Now, what is the test for the gas? Whenever you bring a burning wooden splinter in near the carbon dioxide gas, it extinguished, right? And because all of you know that carbon dioxide also doesn't support burning. Second is your, when you pass carbon dioxide gas through a lime water, it turns lime water milky. Means lime water turns milky when carbon dioxide comes in contact with lime water, because it forms calcium hydroxide is a lime water, and when it react with carbon dioxide, it forms calcium carbonate and white precipitate is formed, right? And water is formed. That is why it turns milky. Now next is your, and the milkiness disappears on passes of excess carbon dioxide. But when you pass carbon dioxide in excess, then this milkiness will disappear. Second, one more test is here, that the gas has no effect on acidified potassium permanganate and potassium dichromate. While actually this second test, that carbon dioxide turn lime water milky, this is also given by sulfur dioxide. right? So to identify between sulfur dioxide and carbon dioxide turn lime water milky. Sulfur dioxide also can turn lime water milky. But carbon dioxide has no effect on acidified potassium permanganate and potassium dichromate. While sulfur dioxide turn the pink color of potassium permanganate to colorless, okay, clear colorless, and this orange color of potassium dichromate to clear green, right? Now next is your sulfur dioxide. All of you know, whenever metallic sulfides, sulphites, sulfides means like sodium sulfide, Na2SO3, or CaSO3, or MgSO3, when they react with dilute acids, they always give sulfur dioxide gas, and sulfur dioxide gas is colorless but suffocating in odor-wise, okay, and it turns blue litmus paper to red because it is acidic gas. What it is? It turns blue litmus to red because it is acidic in nature. Now what is the test for the gas? When you bring a burning wooden splinter near the sulfur dioxide gas, it will extinguish. Means sulfur dioxide also doesn't support burning. Second, when sulfur dioxide gas is passed through lime water turn milky because it forms actually calcium sulfide. When sulfur dioxide react with calcium hydroxide, that is your lime water, it gives white precipitate of calcium sulfide, right? But this milkiness disappears on passes of excess sulfur dioxide, same just like carbon dioxide. Test is which you have to do, that is your sulfur dioxide always churn acidified potassium permanganate from pink to clear colorless. And second, sulfur dioxide turns acidified potassium dichromate from orange to clear green. Just remember this one. These are the two tests which help in differentiation between carbon dioxide and sulfur dioxide, right? Which one? This potassium permanganate solution, acidified potassium permanganate solution, and acidified potassium dichromate solution. Now next is your chlorine. Chlorine is the gas which is greenish yellow in color. Actually, chlorine gas is produced when this concentrated hydrochloric acid react with reducing agents like MnO2, PbO2, or potassium permanganate or potassium dichromate. Then it always which gas is produced? A greenish yellow chlorine gas is produced. So what is the color of chlorine gas? Greenish yellow color, right? And odor wise it is pungent odor, and it also turn moist blue litmus to first it turned to pink and then it bleached. What is the meaning of bleach? Bleach, actually chlorine has a bleaching action, means it turns colorless. In place of turning pink, this moist blue litmus paper, when come in contact with chlorine gas, it become colorless. Bleach means colorless because chlorine has a bleaching action, right? Next is your next test is your even chlorine, whenever come in contact with any coloring matter, right, it turn colorless. Even sometimes what's happen, this if you bring a colored flower petals near a chlorine gas, they turn colorless. Now it also chlorine gas also turn moist starch iodide paper blue black. So learn this test also. Now next is your hydrogen chloride gas. Already you have read this chapter, and you know the test for the hydrogen chloride gas, that it gives dense white fumes when glass rod dipped in ammonia solution is brought near the hydrochloric acid, right, or hydrogen chloride gas. Then it forms actually dense white fumes of ammonium chloride. The second test is whenever hydrogen chloride gas come in contact with when it is passed through aqueous solution of silver nitrate, then it gives a curdy white precipitate of silver chloride and nitric acid is formed, right? And the precipitate of this silver chloride, it is soluble in ammonium hydroxide but insoluble in dilute nitric acid, right? Now next is your hydrogen sulfide. Whenever these metallic sulfides like FeS or Na2S, when they react with dilute acids or hydrochloric acid or sulfuric acid, they produce which gas? Hydrogen sulfide gas, and it is colorless but it has a rotten egg smell, and it is also an acidic gas because it turns blue litmus paper to red. This gas turns acidified potassium permanganate solution from pink to colorless. Just remember, in case of sulfur dioxide also, sulfur dioxide gas also turn acidified potassium permanganate solution from pink to clear colorless in case of sulfur dioxide. But in case of hydrogen sulfide, it turn pink potassium permanganate solution to colorless. And second is your hydrogen sulfide gas turns acidified potassium dichromate solution to orange, from orange to green. Actually, what is the color of potassium dichromate? It is orange, and it turned to green, not clear green. In case of sulfur dioxide, you will write clear green. In case of sulfur dioxide, here you will write clear colorless. But in case of hydrogen sulfide, you only write down pink to colorless. Okay, and here from potassium dichromate turn from orange to green. Why? Because actually it contains yellow particles of sulfur also. Just because of this presence of this yellow sulfur particle, it is not clear colorless. Here also it is not clear green. Understood? Okay, now next is your one more test is there for hydrogen sulfide. That is, hydrogen sulfide gas turns moist lead acetate paper or solution silvery black or simple black. Now next is your nitrogen dioxide gas. This is another colored gas. That is, it is reddish brown in color, while chlorine is a greenish yellow in color, and it has a irritating odor, and it also turn blue litmus paper turn to red. Next is your the test for the nitrogen dioxide gas. Nitrogen dioxide gas, it liberate iodine from potassium iodide solution and and turns potassium iodide paper to brown. And second, it dissolves in cold water to give mixture of nitrous and nitric acid in solution, which act as a blue litmus and turn it red. Right, now next is your ammonia is the next gas which is a basic in nature, and this is the only gas which is basic in nature, and it is colorless, pungent odor, and turn red litmus to blue because it is basic in nature. And test for the ammonia is first test is same as when you bring a rod dipped in hydrochloric acid near to ammonia gas, it will give dense white fumes of ammonium chloride. Second is on passes through a copper 2 sulfate solution, what's happened? It will you will get a pale blue precipitate of copper hydroxide, which turn inky blue solution when you pass ammonia gas in excess. Alright, now next is your one more important test is your ammonia gas turns Nessler reagent from colorless to pale brown and gives reddish brown precipitate. Just learn this test, Nessler reagent. It is colorless and it turns reddish brown. It gives reddish brown precipitate when it when ammonia gas is passed through this Nessler reagent. Now next is your action of heat on substances. Means actually from this part the question comes, give your observation what's happened when the particular substance is heated. Okay, so when first is your copper carbonate. Carbon carbonate, actually its original color is light green, but on heating it turns black on strong heating. Actually copper carbonate, when it is heated, it gives you black copper oxide. That is so what is your observation? It turned from light green to black copper oxide. And also evolved which gas? Carbon dioxide gas. And the test for our carbon dioxide gas, you know. Now next is your zinc carbonate. Zinc carbonate, it is white in color, but on strong heating it turn yellow. Zinc oxide, it gives yellow zinc oxide when it is hot, but when it becomes cold, then what's happened? It turn white. Actually, just when it turn cool, when you cool down this residue, then it turn white. And naturally it is carbonate. On heating it also gives carbon dioxide gas. So what is the original color of zinc carbonate? It is white, but it turns yellow on heating. Okay, now next is your zinc nitrate. Zinc nitrate is also white in color, but on heating it gives same yellow zinc oxide when it is hot and turn white on cooling, and gives which gas? Nitrogen dioxide gas and oxygen gas. Just remember, it gives zinc nitrate gives two gases, nitrogen dioxide, which is reddish brown color. So here you can give two observations. First, what do you observe when zinc nitrate is heated? What you write? That the white zinc nitrate on heating gives yellow zinc oxide when it is hot, and reddish brown nitrogen dioxide gas, right? And oxygen gas is also produced. Now next is your copper nitrate. Copper nitrate also on heating gives you it is blue in color. On heating it gives black copper oxide and reddish brown nitrogen dioxide and colorless oxygen gas. And how you will identify nitrogen dioxide gas? You know the test for nitrogen dioxide gas also and oxygen gas also. Right, now next is your lead nitrate. Lead nitrate is also white in color, and on heating it turn litharge. It gives actually litharge. Litharge is actually buff yellow lead oxide, and gives nitrogen dioxide and oxygen gas. And what is the color of nitrogen dioxide? Reddish brown nitrogen dioxide gas is produced and oxygen gas is evolved. Okay, so learn these practical work for your final exams also, and as well as for your internal assessments. Okay, thank you children.